Well, hey there. Welcome to my channel. I'm Crafty Kathy. I'm the owner and creator of Kids Vintage Farmhouse in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I'm so happy and thankful that you stopped in to craft and spend a little time with me today. I've been doing some cute little Christmas crafts, but I haven't really had a lot of time to spend in my craft room this week. My husband had carpal tunnel surgery about a week and a half ago, and he's not supposed to be doing anything. So we created a wall in the front yard, and we planted about 40 trees, plants, shrubs, you name it, we did it. We made a signpost with our address on the front where you can hang a basket and a flag. And I'm not complaining. These are things we've been wanting to do for about 15 years. But like a good Southern man, whenever he's not supposed to be doing anything, he's going to find something to do. And it's not my type of DIY, but I'm glad it got done. And I'm going to show you that too. But enough of my blabbing. Let's get into the crafts and the DIYs, shall we? The first DIY can be used as a chunky shelf sitter, or you can put a tag on the back and hang it on the wall. I've got a piece of scrap wood here that is about 1.5 inches thick, and it's about an 8 by 10. It's about the size of a good size picture frame. It was painted like a beige color from a previous DIY, so I just painted over that with my DIY paint in the color called beadboard, which is a nice off-white color. Anytime you're going to do decoupage or anything, in my opinion, you need to have a white background if possible, because the white, even though you're covering it up, it really makes that decoupage pop. Now, I love to use the Elmer's glue stick when I'm doing decoupage. This is decoupage paper, and I prefer decoupage paper over napkins and that type thing because you don't get any wrinkles with those. Now, my friend Paige gave me this Coca-Cola Santa decoupage paper, and I will link down below where she got it from. I believe she said she got it from Etsy. Now, I have never tried any other glue stick besides the Elmer, so I can't say if they work really well, but I've had several people ask me, now, do those glue sticks really hold your decoupage paper? And guys, to answer that, they absolutely do. Usually when I go back to take the decoupage paper off, a lot of times I have to wet it and just really work with it to get it off there. It works just like you're using Mod Podge or any other glue because it is glue. And you can actually see whenever I rub it in that purple behind it. Now, don't worry about that because when it dries, that clears, so you'll never see any color. And I like to start off in the center of my decoupage paper. I just lay it down where I want it, and I start off in the center and kind of work my hands outward, and that way I just make sure that it's got a really good adhesion there. Like I had mentioned a while ago, I've been extremely busy this week, and so all of my projects are really easy. They're great for a beginner. They're just really quick to put together. And I hope that's okay. Sometimes it's nice to have a change up like that instead of having to do, more intricate things. So here all I'm doing is just taking my little sanding, well, it's not a sanding sponge, it's a little hand, what do they call those things? I always forget, and you guys are going to laugh at me because I never remember what it's called. A little finger sander. I call it a zippy sander, and I call it all kinds of crazy things. But you just go along the edge and go in a downward motion and just get that excess off there. Now we're going to make this baby sparkle. Now I normally don't like glitter, but during Christmas and Halloween, I like to use a lot of glitter. So just omit this step if you don't like it. But what I love to do is just cover my whole picture very, very lightly with some Mod Podge. And then I'm going to use my favorite diamond glitter. I'll wait all year long to get the chance to use this diamond glitter. I love it. It's by a brand called Sulyn, Sulyn. I get it off of Amazon. They also sell it at Walmart. And it's a fine diamond glitter. It's linked in my Amazon store in case you want to go get some. It's really cheap, and I use the hound out of it at Christmas. But it's got a nice sprinkle to it. Not too much comes out. You just sprinkle it on kind of like salt and pepper. I just put a slight little, dusting over it. Then I just kind of tap off the excess on my table. And I don't know if you can see how this glitters, but it just makes it so beautiful and gives it such a beautiful shine. I put a hanger on the back and hung it up. Let me know what you think about this one. I love it.
Merry Christmas, baby. Reindeer's coming out to play. Santa Claus is packing the presents, making sure you've been behaving okay. Merry Christmas, honey. Yeah. The snowman's dusting off his hat, putting on the show for everybody, to give them a smile that lasts another year. There's something that happens when sleigh bells.
For the second DIY, I came up with the idea of a little mouse decorating his tree out in the wilderness, and this whole idea just popped right into place. I grabbed one of these little square picture frames from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use the back of it because we're almost going to use it like a stage, if you will. I'm just taking my DIY paint in the color beadboard, and I'm just going to put a real messy coat on the back. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're actually just going to cover this right up. Now the next thing that I did was grab some material that I had bought, and I purchased this at Walmart. You know how they sell their material in like 1 yard is $3 and 2 yards is like $6, and it's already, wrapped up for you when you get there. The material is kind of like a fleece material. It's a thinner fleece, I guess. It's kind of a cottony fleece, just really nice. And I think that this one came in 2 yards, and it was only $4 or maybe even $6, but it's going to be really nice to use to make it look like a snow blanket this Christmas. I just cut a square of it off, and basically all I'm doing is just gluing this on that back side of that little picture frame. I just put a little bead of glue and kind of pull it down as tight as I can so it will cover. I've got this little bottle brush tree from the Dollar Tree, and we're going to place this on there. That's the little mouse is going to be decorating his beautiful tree out in the wilderness. I definitely want my tree to be lit up. You guys know how I am. So I've got my little drill bit here, and I'm just going to make a very small hole in the side of this. And it didn't go all the way through that white material. And it's just like a cottony material, So I just used my scissors and kind of punched the hole the rest of the way through there. I love when my decor is lit up, especially at Christmas, and you can just sit in the dark in the evening and look at everything lit up. It's so beautiful. I've got these beautiful string lights. They came in, there was about 8 to 10 different pair, and all of them were different colors. There's blues, purples, pinks, there's a green. I got these around Halloween, and they're in my Amazon store in case you want some. My favorite color to put on a Christmas tree is blue. I never decorate mine in blue because I'm Southern, and I just like all different colors on my tree, but there's nothing like a beautiful blue Christmas tree. Now, I ran these little lights up through the back of this, and you do want to glue your little battery pack down, but what I was showing you there is I always glue the side so that I can have easy access and open that up and change the batteries if I need to. All I'm going to do is just take this little string light, and it is a wire, so it's very easy to put around anything. I think there's 25, maybe 30 little lights on there. It seems like there's more. And I'm just going all the way up, starting at the bottom of this tree and making my way up. That way it's going to be perfect for, the way that I've got it going underneath this little box.
If you're enjoying this video so far, I would like to ask you to give me a big thumbs up. That's the like button. It really helps me out on YouTube. It helps to push my videos out there to people who've never seen me before. Also, join our family. Hit that little red subscribe button. It's totally free, and I would love to have you in my family. I got this little iron mouse off of Amazon. I actually saw it on my friend's channel, Annie Jones, and she had put a little mushroom on the top, which was so adorable, and that's what I wanted to do with it, but I just never got around to doing it. It's actually a little mouse that holds like a little card or something on the top. Well, our little mouse is going to be holding the star that's going to go on the top of his tree. I love to use these rusted stars at Christmas time. They came in a pack of 40, where there is this size, which is the larger, and then some smaller ones. I'm going to glue one on one side of the little area where he's holding it up and one on the other side. And these little stars are in my Amazon store in case you want some. I'm going to take this little ladder that I got from Temu. It's not a ladder yet. It's actually a fence. And I just went with my scissors and cut off that little top pointy edge because we're going to make it a ladder. I just kind of sanded down the edges where they wouldn't be rough. And you see it's pink now, but I don't want it to be pink. So I'm just going to grab my chalk paint and paint it black. I'm using the color Black Velvet by DIY Paint. And by the way, if you want some of this DIY paint or a lot of the craft materials that I use, I get them from my friend Lori over at www.miltonsdaughter.com. I leave the information down below. And if you use the code CraftyCathy10, you get 10% off your first order. So I just finished up by painting this black, and then we're going to put everything together. I just put a couple small dots of glue on the ends of the ladder, glued it down. I'm going to take this little sleigh, which is an ornament from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to cut the hanger off, and then I pulled that front little piece off. And I buy these little tiny pre-made bows from Amazon. I use them every Christmas. They're so easy to pop on your DIYs. Some are red and black checkered, and some are the white and black. I absolutely love them. And so I just popped one of those bows on my little sleigh, and I'm going to glue the sleigh up to the front. And then I used another one of those little pre-made bows and just kind of pulled it apart and made a little scarf for the mouse's neck. What I did was just kind of glue it around his little neck in the formation where it looks like a little scarf. And I didn't record that part where I made the little scarf, but I literally just wrapped it around his neck, and that's all I did. And then I added a pipe cleaner around the bottom of this just to give it a little finished look. I hope you like it.
Then you know it's Christmas when the snow starts to fall. Then you know it's Christmas for the children above all. Then you know it's Christmas 'cause Santa's on his way. We'll stand under the main.
The third DIY, just like the others, is very simple. I have a 10-inch wood round that I picked up at the Dollar Tree, and it's fairly thin. And I'm going to paint this with my DIY paint. First, I put down a little bit of parchment paper whenever I'm painting because it's just so much easier. I'm going to use the color beadboard, which is my favorite off-white paint color, and I gave this 2 coats.
Then I'm going to take this gorgeous stencil. It's a 12 by 12 stencil, and I get these from Amazon. I got a whole pack of these last year, really cheap, and they're in my Amazon store in case you want to check those out. We're going to use the DIY paint color called Black Velvet, and I'm going to show you how I stencil. I like to use a stencil brush, and mine is a 1/2 inch big, and it's a JRV, Jamie Ray Vintage. And what I'm going to do is pounce mine. I don't do the swirly motion or anything like that. I find that mine always comes out so much better when I pounce it. And basically what you do is have very little paint on the end of your brush. It's almost dry, to be honest with you, like a dry brush. And I just pounce it up and down. I tap it, tap, 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 all the way through the image. Now, since my wood round is white, I wanted to make everything black except for those green stripes that's on the side of the stencil. And then as soon as I pull my stencil away, I always have my heat gun ready so I can dry it really quick. Now, if I keep those grain stripes the way that they are, they're going to be on the very tippity ends of that, and I didn't want that. So I just brought them in a little bit closer to the image, and I'm going to use the home decor brand called Imperial Red, and it's a beautiful, vibrant, bright red Christmassy color. And I'm going to do exactly like I did with all the black letters. I have very little red on my paintbrush, and I'm just going to tap, tap, tap. And as soon as I pull that stencil away, I'm going to dry it because that will stop any type of smears from happening, or, you know, like me accidentally rubbing it with my hand and smearing it and messing up my whole piece. I did that with both of the green stripes. The next thing that I'm going to use is this DIY 3D craft kit. It came out last Christmas at Dollar Tree. I only need that one little wooden block type piece that has tracks on it. What we're going to do is use this round and stand it up and make it a beautiful standing decor piece. Most people stick these wood rounds on their door, but I think this is a refreshing change. I'm going to paint it black and then dry it and sand it. And if you want to, you can totally just stop right here. It's going to be beautiful. You just pick which track you want to stand your little piece in. And since it's such a thin piece of wood, it literally stands right up inside that little track. Look how cute that is. But we are going to go a little bit further. And like I said, if you don't want to go this far, you don't have to. It's still beautiful the way it is. I put a little bit of Mod Podge down, and all I'm going to do is just go with a very fine, thin brush all over my little deer. Because like I said, at Christmas, I go hog wild with the glitter, and I want to make him sparkle. So I'm going to use that special glitter that I absolutely love called Sue Lynn. I get it from Amazon. And like I said, it's very, very affordable. And I use almost this whole thing each Christmas. I just sprinkle it on, tap off the excess. And if there's any spots that are still bare, I just pick up the little bit of glitter that fell down and just put it back on there. It's so beautiful. And I always preserve the rest of my glitter by just using parchment paper and putting it right back on there. I'm going to use some of those gorgeous stars that I got that was 40 in a pack, and I'm going to use the smaller ones. And I got these floral pieces from the Dollar Tree. They are just called Snow Greenery. I think they're really pretty because they have a little bit of a glittery touch to them, and I'm just looking to see where I want to put everything. So I'm going to start off with grabbing those few pieces of that snow greenery. I'm going to clip the very ends of them off because it's a little bit longer than I want. And I'm going to glue them on the sides toward the bottom. 2 on the left and 2 on the right. And they're almost flat, so they just lay beautifully right there. And they just give my sign just a little added something, you know. Then I'm going to take my two beautiful little stars, put just a little bit of hot glue on the back of them, and place them right over the top of the little deer.
Now these are those little pre-made bows that I told you that I get off of Amazon, and I go crazy with these at Christmas. I use a lot of them. So you're definitely going to be seeing them in my DIYs. And that's it. I like that this is a different way to use a wood round, and I actually think that I like it much better. What do you think?
Tell me again with a whisper, little things that I wanna hear, and the stars up above, they are shining with love, listening to this song playing on, listening to this song playing on.
Now we're going into our fourth and final DIY, and I just grabbed a paperback book. I always tear the front page and the back page off, and then I try to kind of tear the spine off and make it look raggedy. I mean, that's kind of the only way that I can describe it. I'm literally just going to open my book wherever it wants to open, which is usually right in the very center. We want our pages just to stay back naturally. You guys know how I love my decoupage, and I want to show you this beautiful, gorgeous decoupage paper that my friend Brandy at the DIY Struggle creates, and she sells these. But if you want to go and get one, you need to really hurry, because last time that she had the Halloween paper, they sold out the first night. Now, these just went on sale, and I'm not 100% sure if she even has any left, but I'm going to leave the link in the comments and the description box below so that you can go to her website and grab some if you're interested. I'm going to show you what she sent me. That was my first big page. This is the second page. Now, you'll notice that each of these, they're about a little bit bigger than a 5x7, probably about a 6x8. And you just cut. Well, we never cut. We always use our water, and we kind of tear our decoupage papers. But you just tear off the piece that you want to use. Now, this one is excellent to use for smalls. All of these little round pieces, you could make ornaments out of those. Think about all the beautiful things that you can make with this decoupage paper. She sent me 3 different ones, and each piece, I couldn't really figure out which was my favorite because I loved them all. I love the vintage look of the ones that say Silent Night, and the one that has the little elves. It says made in Santa's workshop. I just love them all. But we are going to use this one that I told you the pages are about a 6x8. We are going to use our trusty Elmer's glue stick again. And you know I said we never cut, but in this instance, I did have to cut because I knew that I was still going to be able to tear what I needed, but I didn't want to work with the whole huge page. I know I only needed these 2 squares right in the bottom center that I want to work with for my book. So I just quickly cut those out, and I laid those down right in the center and try to figure out the placement where I wanted these to go. We're going to make like a little scene in the middle of our book, and you just lay your book out so that people can see it. I go and glue a couple of the pages down right behind where it's going to lay just to make sure that it's going to stay open the way I want. I cover the whole page on both sides. Every square inch is covered with my glue stick, and I'm just going to lay my piece down where I want it to go. I always start off in the very center of my page and kind of run my hand up it to make sure that it's going to stick where I want it to. And my page wasn't exactly where I wanted it, so I just placed it back where I wanted it. I did the same thing, start off in the center and use my hand and work my way out so that it would stick really well. And this is the reason why I cut it, is because I knew I was going to have overhang. And I just use my little hand sander here, and I go around and just very easily, I kind of hold it off the side of the table. It makes it so much easier. And I just sand those edges off of the side that are overhanging. Then I just grabbed my black paintbrush, and I had used that before where I painted that little track. So I didn't add any extra paint. I used what was left on my brush, and I'm going around at the very top edges all the way around this book, and I'm just creating a beautiful shadow to make it look like it's old and weathered. I really wanted to add a little bit of extra right there in the very center part of the book, but I just went all the way around and made sure that every bit of the edges is covered just a little bit with that beautiful black paint. Up at the top, I wanted it to be blended in just a little bit more than what it was. So I took a baby wipe and just used that to kind of blend the way that I wanted it to blend. And I liked the way that it looked so well. I just went all the way around the book and did that. Now we're going to embellish this beautiful book. I took this little die-cut paper type Santa that I got from Hobby Lobby. There was like 50 in a pack, and they were really cheap. And I spelled out the words merry and bright with those little square letters. You know, I don't know where I picked up these letters. They were just in my stash. I've had them for years, but you can get these at any craft store. And I really like them because you can put exactly what you want to put on there. So I spelled out merry and bright, and I just glued all that down. I'm going to stick one of those larger stars right in the center of the book, and that's also going to help it to stay open, which it's really not going to have any problem. And then I've got this resin snowflake. It's one of my IOD snowflakes that came from a mold. I'm just going to use the little bit of white paint that I've got in that brush, go over it lightly with the white, and I glued it at the top right hand. And then I'm going to use my antique gold rub and buff, put a little bit on with my finger, and then use a very light paintbrush and just kind of blend it in. Not perfectly. I just want all of the little snowflakes designs to kind of pop out. Then I added a little bit of Mod Podge like I did earlier. I added it all over the Santa Claus, and I sprinkled that beautiful glitter on him so that he would have a little, you know, just a little sparkle to him. And I liked the way that that looked so well. I went over that Christmas tree that's on the right-hand side. There's actually several little Christmas trees and wreaths. I covered up that little train on the left-hand side, the star down at the bottom. I just glittered it all up. I just add a little bit of glitter to the main focus, and it just gives the book a beautiful, bright glow. I think it's so pretty, and I love the way that it turned out. And then you just shake off the excess. I also decided to go all the way around the edges of my book and add just a little touch of glitter, just for that little Christmas sparkle. I hope you like this one. Well, guys, that's all of the DIYs for today. I hope that you enjoyed them, but I want you to stick around and see the stuff that we've been working on outside my house. Man, I had a busy week. You guys are absolutely going to love what we done. I think. I really do like it. You can't get around me too long without running into a critter of some kind. I've got chickens, cats, dogs, you name it, every critter in every corner. The craft room looks like a tornado hit, and I just haven't had a chance to work on anything except for what we've been doing out in the yard.
Hey, poor
As soon as
baby.
I walk out of my craft
Hey,
room,
poor boy.
this is what I'm greeted with.
Joey.
We didn't put him in the big fence because I like him to be right outside my door when I'm working. That way he can pee and have a little room to run and do his little thing. But I love my little fella. He's getting so big and he's looking just like his grandpa Sabby. This is the saddest time of the year for me in some ways because we got to close the pool. There's already leaves in it. This is one of the trees that we planted. It's called a teddy bear magnolia. And then at the end of the road, or where the road is, we added 4 of those bushes of grass called mully grass. And they've got like a pink little wispy look to them. There's 4 of those bushes. But this is what we were working on yesterday, was this yard sign. And like I said, my husband's hand's all messed up, but he's out there working. This is the wall that we put up this week. And guys, this was a lot of work. This is my beautiful red bonsai tree on the end. And I planted all that English ivy right there on the edge of the wall because we want it to spill over. And can you believe we still have plants we've got to put in the ground? I told y'all we put about 40 plus plants, trees, everything. My husband made this wall and it's just so pretty. The mailbox is just plain right now, but we're about to take that mailbox down and put up a nicer one. We used black mulch. And like I said, these are projects that we've been wanting to do for years. But since my husband had time off, he decided it was time to do it. You see in the center there, he made little mushrooms out of the rock formations. And then my little frog's just laying there in the center like he's laying out in the sun. But I really like the way this wall turned out. I mean, it's so beautiful. Everyone was joking and saying it looks like the entrance to a nice subdivision. But we just have a humble home, you know. We work hard and for what we've got, and I'm really proud of it. This is what everything looks like when you're looking out my window. I really love the wall. I think it made such a difference. And this is the back side of my pole. We put a light on the very top of it. It's a solar light. And I got that off of Amazon and it lights up at night. Right now it just has a flagpole on it, but today my brackets are coming that we're going to put on the other side of it where it's going to hold a plant on one side and then the flag on the other side. That's my little magnolia tree that we planted the other day.
Look at this baby with the bow tie, with the Halloween bow tie. Oh, yeah. Let me see your Halloween bow. Oh, look it. Look it. That's the prettiest boy I have ever seen in all my days. Oh, he's so sexy. He's handsome. And he's very debonair with his hair cut like this. Oh, he's giving Mama kisses. Yes, he loves his mama because he tastes chicken on her fingers or something. Or a french fry. Look at this baby. Her got her hair cut. She's so pretty with her little pom-pom.
Come to the water where you will find peace. Take a step into the river. Get down on your knees.
Well, guys, here we are at the end of the video. And I sure do hate to go. But I hope to see you in the next one. Don't forget that my videos are every Monday and Thursday at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please hit that little red subscribe button and become a part of our family. We would love to have you. And if you did enjoy this video, please give me a big thumbs up. It really helps YouTube to push my videos out there to people who've never seen me before.
And I greatly appreciate you for doing that for me. I'll see you right here on the next one, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Again, I say thank you so much for watching, and if you did enjoy this video, I have one right here that has very similar content. And if you just press on that video, when this one's finished playing, it'll take you right to that next one. God bless you and your families, and I'll see you soon.